Okay, so I've had a look through quite a bit of your answers to these questions, and you all seem to have the right idea, which is great. So I'll just go through these as quick as I can. If I can find one out, there it is. Okay, so does diffusion happen in solids? Right, sorry. So does diffusion happen in solids? Explain your answer. So no, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because the particles are too tightly packed or are not free to move around, or there's no gaps between the particles, something like that. So any of the above. Does it happen in liquids? Yes, it does. Hopefully you noticed that when you tried the experiment. The reason it does is because the particles can move past each other. Can move. So there are gaps between the particles in a liquid the way they're set up, which means they can slide past each other. So eventually, as the particles of the liquid that you started with, and then you started with water and then you put in food dye. So as the food dye goes in, um, the food dye itself is liquid and the particles are liquid. So, sorry, the water is liquid. So all the particles in both the food dye and the liquid all slip and slide past each other and eventually mix together, and that's diffusion. Okay, and then does it happen in gases? Yes, and it's the same reason as this. The particles have such big gaps between them that they move so freely, and that diffusion is quite straightforward in gas, really, because of those huge gaps. Does the temperature of the liquid affect the speed of diffusion? I think you all pretty much got the right answer there. It does. The higher the temperature, so the higher the temperature, the faster diffusion occurs. Okay, and does diffusion happen more easily in gases than or in liquids? It happens more easily in gases, and again, most of you had this, because gases have larger gaps between particles, so the particles move around very freely, and hence they can mix quite easily or move around quite easily and spread quite easily. Okay, because diffusion is a spread really. So larger gaps between particles, so particles can move very easily. Okay, so like I said, pretty much everybody's I read had this idea, so that's great. If you did have any part that you got wrong, please fix it. All right.